Have you noticed any cons, I should say, from the extreme bulks?
Any cons, did you say?
Yeah, relatively speaking, from a where you're starting to where you're trying to go dieting wise, but in terms of how you felt, maybe appearance wise, some people will talk about like there's like the loose skin issue that can happen, especially as you get older and you're doing this. Did you go through anything like that? Any negatives, we should say?
Well, I didn't get any loose skin, so obviously like that were a
That's good.
bonus. But appetite goes, and I'm going to try and control it this time round. It was really poor off season towards the end, in that all my calories were consumed via shakes, which was, that's a bad situation to get in. It was convenient for me as a PT because I was doing so many sessions and I was just knocking back these shakes. My body was saying, like, you're heavy enough now, but I was just kind of forcing these calories in and breaking beyond my set point. But yeah, I just think the appetite going completely was the biggest con. But in terms of strength, I really enjoyed the training. Every single week I was getting stronger, especially on upper body. But the execution of some of the leg exercises, I think, needs to be improved, and it is being done now. So, it's not the weight that you lift with legs, like say leg press, it's how you lift it. And we're just like ego lifting a lot of the times, lifting like 500 kilogram plus on the leg press, but this time round I'm doing like 270, doing a full range of motion, feet low. So you learn every time, I think, and that's where I learned from that one, in that the off season, don't go for all like the ego lifts, actually do the exercises properly.
Now, I would love to dive into that more, but before we do, I'm fascinated by the extreme bulk that you took, because you said that you felt like your strength was at its ultimate peak, if you will, at your top weight, or in terms of kgs, at 240 pounds for the listeners, 87 kgs roughly. Did you find that along the way of bringing your weight up, did you have any stalls in terms of progression as far as like weight on the bar, being able to add reps, whatever it may be, and then you would add food and then you would see that bump? Or was it not like that in this kind of linear fashion?
I literally progressed every single week, and I wasn't tracking my diet, but I know that I was getting lots of calories in, probably over what I should have been doing. And, on the pushing exercises, it was just going up and up and up. But then a big con for when I started the diet, as soon as I went into a cut, my strength plummeted. It just went straight away. Like, for example, I was chest pressing, I did the 50s for 17. Towards the end, I was getting 9 with those. And on the shoulder presses, I was doing 50s for like 13. I got at one point. I couldn't even lift them at the end. I had to drop down to 45s, and I was getting like 5 reps with them. So it was such a big strength loss. And that happened literally the day I went into a deficit. The strength went.
Fascinating. Now that's kgs, like dumbbells, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Not pounds, folks. So, I've had a similar experience with that. If that's a psychological thing, like how extreme was the deficit? I'm curious, from that the day you switched to a diet.
So yeah, just went into about 3,000 calories because I knew that that's what I lost weight on before. And just with that size loss, I think you just lose strength. I mean, I've got strong again since I put some weight on. And I don't think that's muscle. I think it's just like some of the fat. Weight shifts weight, they say. So just by losing a bit of weight, just lost that strength. And yeah, about 3,000 calories I were aiming for it, but then I got myself a coach, Alberto Nunez, and we went a bit lower than that in the end. We went for 2,600 with 2 high calorie days in there. So it worked out about the same calories per week. But yeah, we're interested in working with Alberto.
Nice. How was your experience overall?
They were good. Yeah, I learned a lot from Alberto. Like I say, it's good having that eye on you, really. He had a good judgment on what to do. I did my own training, but he helped with the macros and like when to have the higher calorie days. And towards the end, my calories were so high. They were like 3,300, 3,400, which led to like a smooth transition-ish from like the post-show to the off-season. The calories were in a good spot.
How many sets on average are you doing per exercise? And is it dependent upon the specific exercise as far as volume is concerned?
2 sets per exercise. Sometimes just 1. If I feel like 1's enough, I'll do that. But again, first year I was doing like 4, maybe 5 sets.